Hello and welcome to the video tutorial on the classical period in ancient Greece. In this video we're going to focus on Athens. I'm going to draw a timeline and put the most important events on the timeline from the classical period, and you should follow along and also draw your own timeline in your notebook or on your iPad. You need to know what each of the main events means and why it's important. The first event is the actual classical period. It happened between 500 and 350 BC, and it's the time period after the Archaic period. Hopefully you remember that it was during the Archaic period that the polis, Athens, Sparta, Corinth, those sort of cities developed, the independent city-states. Well, the classical period is most famous for the wars that happened between the Persians and the Greeks, and a civil war between Athens and Sparta, along with the Golden Age. This was a time period where there was lots of art and architecture and philosophy, literature and wealth generated in Athens. Pericles was another Athenian politician, so we've already seen Draco, Solon, Cleisthenes, and now we have Pericles. He continued democratic changes in Athens, and he promoted and encouraged the Golden Age. The Parthenon is an example of one of the greatest buildings constructed during the Golden Age. It started being built in 447 and was finished in 432, and Pericles, the Athenian leader, was the man who ordered it to be built. It's a temple in honor of Athena, who is the patron god of Athens. Okay, so the Persian wars were wars between Persia and Greece. The Persian king, Darius, invaded Greece and conquered it in 499. The battles continue until 449, however by 479 BC the major battles, the most important ones, were over, and Athens had gotten rid of the Persians from Athens. That is why the Golden Age begins in 479. They start reconstructing their city after all the destruction from the war. Another really important event and battle that took place in the Persian Wars was the Battle of Marathon in 490. Okay, Marathon is the name of a city-state, a polis. And a battle took place there between the Athenians and the Persians, and Athens wins. A messenger was sent from Marathon to Athens, okay, to announce the win. He ran all the way there. The length of the journey was around 40 kilometers or so, the length of a marathon. And that's where the name Marathon comes from. After the major battles have taken place between Persia and Greece, Greece realizes around 477 BC that they're in danger, okay? They're not as safe and protected as they thought they were, probably because Greece is made up of individual polis, independent city-states, that don't unite to fight together. And so they come up with the idea of forming the Delian League. The Delian League is kind of like a club where representatives from each major city-state in Greece are sent. They join together in a city called Delos to discuss tactics and defense measures in case Persia attack again, or anyone else for that matter. And they all put money together. They give money towards a fund to pay soldiers and prepare defense methods in case they're attacked again. And like most clubs, you need a leader or a president. Well, Athens is chosen as the leading state and Pericles as the head. What happens is Pericles starts using the money that all the city-states have put together to protect Greece in the Golden Age. He starts using that money to make Athens beautiful. which obviously causes some problems between Athens and the other city-states. So Sparta especially is annoyed by this, okay, Athens' main competitor, and so they start a war with Athens. And the other city-states take sides, okay, some side with Sparta and some side with Athens, and a civil war takes place. This civil war, actually civil wars, are called the Peloponnesian Wars because they take place on the peninsula of Greece, which is the Peloponnese. And they're between 431 BC and 404 BC. Finally, Sparta win. Okay, they win for various reasons, mainly because they blockade Athens. This means they surround Athens, so no food can come in and out, and also disease, the plague, hits Athens. Plague is a very serious disease which kills many people and weakens the soldiers even more. Another interesting fact is that Pericles, the leader of Athens, dies of the plague during the Peloponnesian War. Okay, so they're the main events that happened and the little explanations of each one, and now I'm going to do the timeline. Okay, so I'm going to divide it into 15 equal parts, more or less. So we have the year 500, 490, 480, 470, 460, 450, 440, 430, 420, 410, 400, 390, 380, 370, 360, and well, there should be one more to 350. It's not so important because most of the events happen between 500 and 400 BC. And up here we put BC and the title, Classical Period. Now I'm going to draw the Golden Age on. It's from 479 until 431, so from here until 460, 50, 40, 31, around about here. Okay, and you could make a legend or a key. I don't have much space on this slide, so I'm just going to put it here. Whichever you prefer is fine, and I'm going to abbreviate Golden Age. Okay, you should do each one in a different color. I'm also going to draw on the Classical Period. I'll go up here, and I'm going to continue my arrow on because my timeline doesn't show 350. I'm going to draw it up here, okay? Next thing I'm going to put on my timeline is Pericles, who was the Athenian leader responsible for the Golden Age. So he lived in 460, which would be here, and he died in 429, which is around here. Now it's time for the Parthenon from 447, which is around here, until 432, which would be here. Parthenon. Now I'm going to go back to the start of the timeline and put in the Persian Wars, which started in 499 until 449, so just before the Parthenon is built. Persian Wars. I'm also going to mark in the most important battle, which is the Battle of Marathon that happened in 490. So here. And I'm just abbreviating B of M, Battle of Marathon in 490. And I'm also going to draw in this line here to mark that the major battles ended, okay? The major battles were between 499 to 479, and the minor battles from 479 to 449. The last thing we need are the Peloponnesian Wars, which began in 431 and lasted until 404. So I keep going until, let me just see now. I made a mistake. until here.